Take a look at these 2 points. Just two tiny dots, right? So nothing is special in here. Now let me ask you a simple question. Are these 2 points close to each other or far apart? Something interesting happens in your brain, right? So you don't need anyone to teach you what close means. You just see it. Your brain simply knew because humans naturally understand distance. We can tell when two things are closer, and we can also tell that when they are apart from each other. So it's something we do without even thinking. In machine learning, almost every algorithm needs a way to answer one question. How close are these two data points? Today we are going to understand norms, distances, different ways of measuring similarity, and why they are so important in machine learning. But here's something fascinating. A computer has absolutely no idea what close means. To us, these are points. To a computer, they are just numbers, nothing more. No shapes, no pictures, and no intuition. Only numbers. And this tiny difference between humans and computers creates one of the biggest challenges in machine learning. But there is a one big question that how does a machine know that two things are similar? Think about it. How does Netflix know that two users have similar tastes? How does Spotify recommend us songs you will probably like? None of these systems actually understand language the way humans do. They compare numbers. So the real question becomes how can numbers tell us whether two things are similar? Surprisingly, all of these systems rely on one incredibly simple idea: distance. If two things are close, they are probably similar. If they are far apart, they are probably different. It sounds almost too simple, but this single idea powers hundreds of machine learning algorithms. But before we measure the distance between two things, there is another question. How do we measure the size of just one thing? Imagine a single arrow starting from one origin like this. Forget where it is pointing. Forget its direction. Forget everything else. Just focus on one question. How long is this arrow? That length is called its magnitude. That's all magnitude means. It's simply the size of a vector, nothing more, nothing less. Let's make this more practical. Imagine every student is represented by their exam marks, math, physics together, and they form a vector. For example, a student scoring 80 in math and 90 in physics can be written as 80, 90. Now, instead of looking at both numbers separately, suppose we want one number that represents the student's overall strength. That's exactly what magnitude gives us. It summarizes the overall size of the vector into a single value. Suppose we have another student. How similar are these two students? Do we need an entirely new mathematical idea? Not at all. We simply subtract one vector from the other. The result is called difference vector. Then we calculate the magnitude of that difference, and that's the distance between them. In other words, distance is simply the magnitude of the difference. A cat image becomes one giant vector. Another cat image becomes another giant vector. When we calculate the distance between those vectors, it's usually small. But compare a cat with a dog, and that distance becomes much larger. The computer never actually saw a cat. It only measured the distance between two lists of numbers, and somehow that was enough. But here's the where things get interesting. What if I told you there isn't just one way to measure the distance? There are many of them that can measure the distances. For example, Euclidean distances or Manhattan distance, cosine similarity, etc. So each one measures similarity differently, and choosing the wrong one can completely change how your machine learning model behaves. So in the next chapter, we'll start with the most intuitive one of all, the distance you have been using since childhood, Euclidean distance. Let's begin. Let's back to school. Before we learn a brand new idea, let's revisit something you have probably known since childhood. So, the coordinate plane. You have seen graphs like this countless times, right? So, an x axis and a y axis, and points placed somewhere on the plane. Nothing complicated. Now, let's pick one point. This point is 3 comma 4, and let's ask the same question we asked in previous chapter. How big is this vector, or in other words, how far is this point from the origin? Watch what happens. The moment we connect the origin to this point, a right triangle appears. One side has length 3 and other side has length 4, and the diagonal. That's exactly distance we're trying to find. And the diagonal? That's exactly the distance we are trying to find. Now, here's something interesting. You already know and learned how to calculate the distance years ago, maybe in the school, without realizing how useful it would become in machine learning. The Pythagoras theorem, of course. So, remember this: in every right triangle, the square of hypotenuse equals the sum of squares of other two sides. So, what is the hidden meaning of this? But here's the part most textbooks never tell you. The Pythagoras theorem isn't just a rule about triangles, it's actually teaching us something much deeper. It's teaching us how to measure a length of a vector that diagonal isn't just the side of a triangle, it's the magnitude of a vector. Then, what about three dimensions? Now, you might be wondering what happens if we move beyond the two dimensions, because everything in the machine learning is about dimensions. Let's add another axis, the z axis. Now, our point becomes 3, 4, 12. Can we still find its magnitude? Yes. First, we calculate the diagonal across the xy plane exactly like before. Then, we treat that diagonal and the height as right angle triangle. And we simply apply Pythagorean theorem one more time. Instead of writing it in two separate steps, we can combine everything into one formula. But what happens in 4 dimensions or 10 or 100? Can we still calculate magnitude? Absolutely. Even though we can't draw a 100 dimensional space, the mathematics doesn't care. The formula keeps working, whether your vector has 2 numbers, 20 numbers, or 70. Like the embeddings used inside the modern language models, the process never changes. Let's talk about Euclidean norm. What is Euclidean norm? Simply, it's just a formula that you will often see it written like this. So you might be thinking, what's the difference between norm and distance, right? A norm is just how far is this vector from the origin. That's all. And distance asks a different question. How far are these two vectors from each other? So remember this difference between them. To find the distance, we simply subtract the two numbers. That gives us a new vector. Then we calculate its norm. That's why you will often hear people say that distance is simply the norm of the difference. It's the exactly same calculation, just applied to a different vector. So, why machine learning loves this? So, this straight line distance is called Euclidean distance. It's the distance your intuition already understands. It's the shortest possible path between 2 points. And because it's so natural, it's used almost everywhere. K nearest neighbors, K means clustering, image recognition, recommendation systems, embeddings, etc. So, whenever a machine needs to ask which point is closest, Euclidean distance is usually the first answer. But here's something strange. Imagine you are standing on one straight corner and your friend is standing 2 blocks away. A bird could fly directly to them in a straight line, but you can't. You have to follow the roads, turn left, walk straight, turn right, and all. Your actual travel distance is much longer. So now the question becomes, is a straight line always the right way to measure distance? Sometimes. The answer is no. And that brings us to another fascinating way to measuring distance, one inspired not by open fields but by Strait of Manhattan. There's just a one tiny problem. You are not a bird. You can't walk through buildings. You can't cut across the houses. So you are forced to stay on the roads. Suddenly, that beautiful straight line is completely useless. Instead, your journey looks something like this: walk 3 blocks east, then 4 blocks north, or maybe 2 blocks east, and so on. There are many possible routes, but every route follows the streets. And that's exactly how a taxi driver thought the Manhattan, which is why This distance is called Manhattan distance. Instead of squaring every coordinate, adding them, and taking a square root, we simply measure how far we move along each axis. Take the absolute value, add everything together. That's it. No squares, no square roots, just a simple addition. Here's something really interesting. With Euclidean distance, there is one shortest path, the straight line. But in Manhattan distance, isn't just a one. You could go right, 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 then up and left and all, or alternate between both direction. As long as you move 3 steps horizontally and 4 steps vertically, every single path has exactly the same length, 7, but different journeys and same distance. Here's the comparison you can see. We'll discover something even more powerful, a whole family of norms called P norms, and how they lead directly to one of the most important ideas in modern machine learning, regularization. I'll see you in the next part.